Okay, I understand a lot of y'all are watching the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. That is fine. You can listen to this little video later, and you can just take of it what you will. So where did this come from? I know that y'all really don't give a shit, but I'll go ahead and tell you my thought process. So I saw some of these post-left folks, like particularly from the Fed Post podcast, who were saying that basically Kyle Rittenhouse is a political football. And I don't completely disagree with that, but to me, it's one of those sorts of their leftism is showing sort of thing. How's it going, Temujin? We also see it with Amy Therese. Amy Therese was seen as a darling of, my right wing. But because her genuine left wing feelings showed up, Keith Woods and other of and that group of folks had beef with her and got and bullied her somewhat. Well, I'm not being a simp for her, but they bullied her so much that she blocked them. So whatever. I mean, the thing is, this is an example of the enemy of my enemy is not always my friend. Because, the left dislikes Glenn Greenwald or whatever the case may be, is that these are not your friends. These people do not see the way you see things. Glenn Greenwald still sees himself as a lib and sees himself as a truest lib. Even, Michael Tracy as well posted a clip saying that, Kyle Rittenhouse was faking the crime. And then, of course, quickly deleted it, and then he realized where his money came from. You have to that there's a backlash that's coming. It's the same sort of mob-based China sort of stuff. I think people are realizing that, yeah, now that transgender hospital, or at least a transgender hospital, is in China now, or is getting built in China. People are realizing that, yeah, China is not some, is not going to be your base trad cath sort of fantasy. No. And like I say, I have my own opinions about China, and I go back and forth on it. And I've been a China boo, but I think that narratives are switching, narratives are changing. We have to realize this, and that a lot of the folks who, just because they are on your side, at least in this particular case, does not mean that they're always going to be on your side. If they're genuine left-wing people, those beliefs are going to come out. Think about it like this: they have trans surgeries in Iran as well. Yeah, that's true. And I saw this, and I take it with a grain of salt because it was the Jerusalem Post, excuse me. So this is an article apparently from the Jerusalem Post. It says, and I will quote verbatim: Syrian President Bashar al-Assad himself made the decision to dismiss the head of the Iranian forces in the country, Javad Ghaffari, excuse me, Emirati Al-Arabiya, sorry, yeah, Emirati Al-Arabiya news agency reported on Tuesday. So we see that Iran and Hezbollah gave a lot of support to Bashar al-Assad. But now that he is closer to winning, he's basically saying, fuck you. China, as much as people will say base China, both left wing and right wing, China will play both sides of this while they still can towards how they feel about Israel and Palestine. They will give lip service to Palestine, but they'll still do work in Israel. So, like I say, this is something that goes back and forth. Pragmatism is pragmatism. Did Hitler actually care about the plight of the Russian people when the ROA was started? No. In actuality, I mean, if you look at history, the ROA was banned from actually going in and fighting against, troops in Russia and all this sort of thing. No, they didn't care. It's the same thing that you could say about whichever minority, whether it was the Armenians or whether it was whomever else that were given German weapons. You know, no, they simply needed bodies to keep, hold the line. Literally, they didn't give a shit. Um, and this is something we need to realize is that just because somebody gives you support does not mean that they're automatically your friend. Just because they're against that one side, but if they broadly believe something, it's like if someone's in ML and they say, "Yeah, we support free speech" or whatever, they're still in ML. They're not going to agree with you on every single thing. And I think people are starting to realize this and starting to understand the pragmatism of it all. I don't disagree with what the Fed Post podcast was saying, but the thing is, though, a lot of folks are using, are starting to wake up to this. They're starting to realize, yeah, these are, we still inherently disagree. Just because we agree on a couple of points does not mean that, you're going to go whole hog and become like full on fash. I mean, it's the same, this is the whole thing where they think that because Jimmy Dore goes on, Tucker Carlson's show, that automatically, oh, well, he's a right winger now. Oh, it's like, no, he still may see himself as, lefty or whatever the case may be, right? Everyone is self-interested. Yeah, exactly. Like I say, you can have folks that you can agree with on some points, but you realize that when worst comes to worst, my peoples come first, right? Like I say, I can, say, well done, China. But at the end of the day, I'm not Chinese. I've always said that. Now I say that, and I know people are going to say, "Man, Uncle Thomas, you've been a China boo and all this sort of thing. Now why are you shitting on China?" No, I'm not. I'm not doing that. But I realize at the end of the day is that China is going to see things one way, and American dissidents are going to see things another way. They're not going, like I say, I don't want to go down the path, and I want to be very careful here. Just because I disagree with some things that China does, I'm not going to go down the path of we need to defend Taiwan. No, I'm not with that group. I'm not with the no defense of Taiwan. No, none whatsoever. Um, um, at the end of the day, it's a frustrating thing. Yeah, circles of cooperations on some things while totally separating on others. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And we're seeing it now. A lot of folks are really, upset that they saw Kyle Rittenhouse on the stand. And now he's being cross examined. And as far as I can see, I mean, they were talking about video games earlier that, oh, well, what was it like this in various games or whatnot? Someone bought the gun for you. Um, like I say, why did he go on the stand? All this sort of thing. Yeah, we didn't actually think China is going to save them. Yeah, they do, but they do. Yeah, there are. Yeah, they do literally think that, and they, like I say, they. I'm just gonna say this. I know people are gonna disagree, but maybe, maybe to a point, people like Vosh are correct when they say that. Yeah, just being anti-American is not a stance. Um, you don't want to push so hard and shill something so hard that you end up becoming that. I mean, Daniel Dumdrill can go ahead and make his videos about how, white supremacist America is, this and that, or whatever the case may be. But it's like, my man, you're still Chinese. I mean, no, you're still Canadian. You're still a citizen of Canada. So go ahead and keep talking your shit about the U.S. Go ahead. But, China is not, the Chinese people are not going to treat you as one of them because you're not. You're not one of them. You're Canadian, dude. I don't care if you have a Chinese wife and Chinese kids, man, or half Chinese kids. My dude, you are not Chinese. Like I say, if they wanted to, they could put you away and you'd never be found again. And people just say, huh, he deserved it. Or whatever the case may be, right? Because that's how narratives go. Like I say, there's a lot of folks who feel a loyalty or feel, who had divided loyalties about these different things. You can disagree with the United States and also kind of be weary of Russia and China. I think it's possible without going down the whole lib path of, of just realizing that there's differences, you know? I don't know. I'm being very careful about my language here. I'm trying to be very careful. I'm not going off on some tangent. I'm not going to, no, no, no. There's a lot of dangerous beliefs out there. There's a lot of dangerous narratives out there in terms of China and Russia. And I don't want to go in that. Yeah. That's how I feel anyway. It's a very dangerous thing, but I think that's all I really have to say. It's just heretical evangelicals who shield for retarded, yeah, yeah, redacted land. Yeah. No, I hear you though. Yeah. That's all. Like I say, it's a very delicate thing. We obviously see a lot of folks who feel, and I do feel to a point, that they see this Kyle Rittenhouse trial as as a defense of the Second Amendment. They see it as a shift, and just like MAGA Pete see it as, oh well, we're winning because we got Youngkin into office in Virginia. It's like, no, it's the generation is still going to happen, and yeah, people see the Kyle Rittenhouse trial as some great thing, but it's like at the end of the day, is it really going to make a huge difference? I'm watching it and I'm getting sucked into it. Don't get me wrong, but is it really going to change anything? No. I mean, the US is on the trajectory it's on. There's no changing that, in my opinion. The real honest to goodness way to look at it is to learn about law. Learn about law, learn about international law, learn how companies work, and learn to cooperate, but also realize that people have their own, like I say, everybody's going to have their own sides and their own loyalties, right? So I would be surprised if black folks suddenly said, "Well, we want we, they go out and support, white rights or something like that." No, black folks are going to defend themselves, and if they want black separatism, then yeah. Does that mean I agree with it? No, because guess what? I ain't black, so I'm not melanated or whatever term you want to use. But yeah, like I say, it's a very dangerous thing. I'm gonna do my best. And let me just, yeah, we're going full on corporatist. Oh yeah. What would you say your worldview is, Uncle Thomas? Like, what is the lens you see the world through? It's a good question, but I try to see it through a realistic eye. Admittedly, it is very American. It's a very American sort of sense. But I also realize that, yeah, there's a lot of complications as well. It's more of an ignorant, internet based sort of worldview, where it's like, yeah, it's a good thing that Assad is winning. But I also realize, though, that, yeah, I mean, we see that now that Assad's winning, he's going to be like, we appreciate the help, Iran, but screw you, basically. At least that's my, now, like I said, once again, Jerusalem Post, take it with a grain of salt. But, everyone's going to see through their own lens. But yeah, that's all I can really say. It's, that's how I feel about it. And like I say, I do want to say this just as an end point. I will do my best not to, yeah, secularists. Yeah, exactly. That I will not fall into the trap of like, we need to defend Taiwan or we need to defend, this and that, or try to embrace some sort of, I'll just go ahead and say it, a racist view of China or Russia. I hope that I never engage in something like that because I think that it just serves other people and doesn't serve a larger message. you know. Anyway, that's all I had to really say. Yeah. I wish I was more religious. I really do, but I just wasn't raised that way, and I could make excuses. But yeah, that's all I have to say about it. Obviously, we're going to disagree. So, you know what? I'm just going to end it here. Hopefully, y'all enjoyed that. See you later. Goodbye.